Well, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. Today on the table in front of us, we have the new Civivi Ortis. Before we go any further, I do want to point something out. When this knife first appeared, everyone said, well, it's just the same as the Civivi Dogma. It isn't. It is smaller, and it has a much, much different handle shape, particularly here at the butt of the knife. Now, the Dogma is an excellent EDC. The Ortis, equally good. Of course, Civivi makes fantastic knives. They did use the same blade shape, for sure. But this is smaller, and interestingly enough, it is no less comfortable in my big old hands for it. I'm really I think it's cool that they did this. The cutout, right, in the blade is a slightly different shape. But overall, these knives have very much the same blade profile. But again, if you think that the Ortis is just a duplicate of the Dogma, as you can see, that's just not the case. Why Civivi decided to release two knives with exactly the same blade, I don't know. But what I do know, and now we're going to talk about the Ortis specifically, is that they've made one hell of a tiny knife here. Now, look, it is small for me. It is. But it still manages to fill my hand very, very well. Right? It has a nice choil up here. Of course, it's got this marvelous Civivi hollow grind. Now, this one in particular has got their dark Damascus. I'm not sure how well that's going to appear on camera, but we'll do our best. It's basically a black Damascus blade, and it is freaking gorgeous. This one is on loan to me from a local knife shop. I was very glad to get my hands on it, get a chance to review it. I do want to say that this one is about $100 because of the Damascus and this carbon fiber, but let's talk about this carbon fiber. Civivi, or we, which is the parent company, could give lessons on how to do carbon fiber. Now, they say this is their silver twill. It does have some light silvering in it. It is faux bolstered, and up here it is relatively smooth, although there is a little texture. But back here, they have given this carbon fiber, they've milled it so that it has really, really good grip. I mean, this is astonishing. And I have to tell you that I have, this is, like I said, this is a $100 version. If you get one that's more like the Dogma here, it's about $47. If you get the standard one for $47, you get their G10, which is also very nice. But this carbon fiber, they need to give lessons, as I said, to other companies on how to do carbon fiber. I have $300 knives, as I was saying, that have carbon fiber that feels super cheap. This is not that. This feels like some of the best carbon fiber, and it is solid carbon fiber. It's not a laminate, that I have ever held. And I have 150 knives, and I've probably held 1,000 folding knives in my life. It's just astonishing. They do a really nice job with their Damascus as well. The base steel on their Damascus tends to be the same 9CR18 MOV that you get on something like this, mixed with something that is a little less rust and stain resistance, of course. That's how you make good Damascus. But boy, I'll tell you what, this is just lovely. It has a very nice deep carry pocket clip, as you can see, with flush-mounted screws so that nothing interferes with this thing slipping in and out of the pocket. It has the traditional and really good Civivi stamped steel pocket clip. This one has black liners to go with the sort of overall blacked out look. Now, the Dogma is a small knife for me, but it is still managed to be very comfortable, although because of where they did the lanyard tube back here, it's not sharp by any stretch of the imagination, but it does give it a very squared off appearance. The Ortis here has a lovely rounded tail. I mean, just the shape of it is spectacular, and because it has a little swell right here that sits nicely into the palm, even with my big old hands, I get a grip on this thing that continues to blow me away. This is just an excellent worker. The other thing they did is they gave the pocket clip, as you can see here, a ton of room. So even in big, thick jeans, like 5'11" level outdoor stuff, this thing sits in the pocket very, very well. And it is very light. And it is, well, I mean, the steel liners in here are just milled out like crazy. Look, this is a superb knife. But of course, that's what you get from Civivi. It really is. It's running on bearings. If you want the more base model, it'll look a lot more like this. But it's just, as I said, a little smaller. I would like to repeat, these are not the same knife. That was a big complaint that people made when these things were released. Really, it is not. So what do you get? In this case, for your $100, or for the more budget-friendly version, your $47 or so. Let's take a look. You get one, two, right? Just under 3 inches of cutting on just under 3.5 inches of their Damascus. The grip area from behind the flipper is 1, 2, 3.5 inches dead. Now that is, again, for me, that's small, right? You can see my pinky actually sticks out over the end, but because of the way this is shaped, I still get a fantastic grip. I know I keep saying that, but look, when a really small knife comes along and still manages to impress someone with hands the size of mine, they've done something right. The knife itself is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5 inches long overall, which is a marvelous EDC size for most people, right? I prefer knives that are bigger, but that's just me. Let's go ahead and do a size comparison so we know what we're really talking about here. For instance, here's the bug out, and as we'll line it up on the line, as you can see, the bug out and the Ortis are really similar. In fact, you get, let's line them up, you get exactly the same amount of cutting area, but you get a little more grip on the bug out. This is a, like I said, a small knife. Let's put it up against our Hilltop Knives and Geared Modified Rat Model 1. So again, small knife. If you guys haven't checked out BJ Hill over on Instagram, Hilltop Knives and Gear, you really need to. He is doing amazing things in his modification work. Let's go ahead and weigh this thing out, just because I am curious. Now, this one will weigh a little less because of the carbon fiber than the G10 version, but let's take a look at where we land. 3 ounces dead on. 3 inches of cutting, a little under, a little under 3.5 inches of blade. This is a lightweight, great small carry. Is it worth it? Well, yeah. I even think this one is worth it. Now, again, I'm not a huge Damascus fan, but they have managed to make this thing look sort of tactical. I'm not a huge tactical fan, but... and at the same time, look, I'm just totally in love with this Damascus blade. I'm going to keep talking about it because it's ridiculous. The edge is superior. The hollow grind makes it a perfect slicer. Really, Civivi has, again, just nailed it with this thing. Now, if you want a lanyard hole, because there isn't one here, and you don't mind a slightly larger knife, you can get its cousin, the Dogma here. And of course, you can get any number of other Civivi knives as well. All of them are made with the same eye for detail, same level of quality, same overall superb final knife. Has really put a lot of its energy into their budget sister company here. A lot of their budget, their time, their energy, and it shows. I love CGRB knives. You guys know that. In many ways, they are as good as the Civivi stuff, but it's the finishing touches, the milling of the scales, the sort of rounding of the edges. This thing has no sharp edges except right where you want it, that makes Civivi really stand out as an excellent budget-friendly option. Now, again, at $100, this is not really the budget-friendly version, but I have to tell you, to get this level of quality, this interesting a blade, and this level of carbon fiber, good God, it does have a nice G10 backspacer, on a more expensive knife, and you will ramp up from $100 very, very quickly. So that's where we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. This is the Civivi Ortis. This is an excellent pocket knife from Civivi. If you're interested, they're out now. Feel free to poke around. I hope you've enjoyed taking a look at this knife. I know I've enjoyed sharing it with you. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.